Well, here we are. Electric Racing League Australia is coming on live, and there's this crazy cat that I picked up outside somewhere, Mr. Scott Davies. How are you, legend?
Good, mate. How you doing?
Mate, I'm a little bit sweaty, a little bit nervous. There's a lot of people sitting in the background waiting to come in and probably tell us a lot of stuff going on.
You have a full school bus in the back ready to come on.
Mate, if it was a school bus coming from all the way from Western Australia, it's going to be an epic one. I got to say, it's kind of a lot of fun going on.
It's a yellow shorty bus you've got back there. So many people waiting to come on. How you been? Good,
well, mate. I'm well. It's been a long time since I've done this sort of thing on my channel, so I'm pretty stoked that Electric Racing League and Brad and the crew over there asked me to do it, and it was only literally Friday night my time. So thanks to the guys. Yeah. We'll get them in a second, but Scott. Racing in Queensland. I know you can't make it. Father's Day.
I tell you what, this has been on my radar. Like I've been going, how do we make this happen? How do we make this happen? And then, unfortunately, nothing aligned and everything went wrong. And as far for me personally, and I just can't make the two things work and get there. It's a real shame because I did go to the ERL's Mega Fast Race Day in Perth in WA. Yeah. And it was a fantastic event. Like
I do that. Hang on.
Mega Fast Race Day.
Sorry. Show off. There you go. He's showing off now. See, my testicles haven't dropped yet. And just knowing what they did there with only half a day, I would love to have been able to come and make it and come as an e-skater, come as a YouTuber, and I would love to have been able to come as a sponsor through my business. But it just didn't. Unfortunately, this time it didn't work out. We'll definitely make it work next time. Wherever they go, we want to be involved because we love what these guys do. We watch all the Spain racing. We watch all the EUC racing over in Spain with Zen Lee and so on. We see all the Electrify. What's his name doing at the moment? James.
Oh,
Electrify Expo or something.
Yep.
What it was called.
Something like that.
It all,
it's in America, whatever.
Exactly, but it's already so big over there. It has such a following. Yes. Like I want to use the word cult following. People just, I'm so excited that we've got ERL and ESDRA in Australia to be able to do these things and actually make these things happen.
Yeah, completely agree. And I'm devoed. I had big plans to go and spend 4 days up there, meet up with you, go through some skating, come across, spend some time with my family, and then spend a few days watching the racing, or maybe pretending that I am one, but I'm not. But I got to say, if you're in Queensland and you want something to do for Father's Day, get out there and go and have a look. This is going to be next level. It's new to Australia, a lot of parts of Australia. So, Now, without further ado, I think
before you bring the first person in, we've got I think 6 people watching. I'd love to know who's watching. If somebody's game enough to comment, let us know who's watching and where you're watching from, just so we can we can direct the questions and we can tailor them for who's watching. But sorry, go as you were. You can do your introduction now.
Well, the first person I got to bring in, obviously, is one of the key people behind it, who's doing a lot of the back end stuff and doesn't get a lot of credit. And that's
have you got the Premier of Queensland,
mate? During post-COVID, this guy I should have been the Premier of Western Australia with what he did in Circular Quay, Circular Quay with all the racing over there. So I'm going to bring in Brett Lindsay, ERL, the man himself.
G'day.
Brad, welcome to the stream.
Yeah, Elizabeth Quay was not Circular. I think Circular Quay is Sydney.
Circular Quay would be a lot harder considering it's illegal. Can you imagine?
We don't have a key in Melbourne. We got nothing.
No, you're at Docklands.
Brad, mate, what an undertaking you've got going on for this. It's huge.
Yeah, it's a group effort. Taz does also a fair amount on the back end as well. It's been a few months of trying to pull it all together. Having the previous venue had a track resurfaced, which is where we ended up with the Father's Day bungle. We didn't even notice that date when we were comparing and looking at options, and
you grabbed the date when beauty we're in.
Yeah. The other option was the AFL Grand Final, and that's never really a good idea to compete with in this country. So
cool.
Yeah, we'll make a point of not doing Father's Day next time. We'd love to have you guys there, and we imagine you're not the only ones who are missing out on this one.
But I mean, for people who want to do something different on Father's Day, go and have your breakfast with your dad. Take him up to see something completely different. It's going to be some mad racing, and there's some pretty, I've got to say it, pretty loose units out there who will definitely put on a show for everybody. So it's going to be good, right? I'm just feeling I'm not there to see it all happen, because some of the best races in Australia are going to be there, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Speaking of loose units, there's a few in the chat. We've got Aaron, we've got Chris, and I'm not sure who Zero is, but it's it's Alex. No, I know who that is. Alex from the Eastgate crew here in Queensland. These guys are all pretty serious racers. Alex, I'm not sure about. Is Alex a racer? I know he's a mountain boarder. Does he race? I'm assuming he'll tell me if he doesn't.
I think he's more on. I think he rides, but I don't think he's racing. He's part of the Southeast Queensland Eastgate guys have been part of our on the ground.
Chris and Aaron will be putting some kilometers down, I'd say.
Yeah.
So you got to. So are you bringing your one wheel over, Brad?
I don't actually have a one wheel anymore. I do. It's kind of bricked. I've got a float wheel. So it is coming. I kind of question why I've put it on a pallet and paid the freight for it to come. And I'm not racing. I won't have time for that. It'll get me around the site. And
I was going to say, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. It'll pay. The shipping will pay for itself when you get there and you see how big the property is, and you want to get around on that float wheel. You'll be cruising. It'll be so much nicer than walking or trying to balance on a skateboard.
Mate, but they're all going to Queensland. Brad, just take your one wheel with you. I mean, with all these bricked one wheels, you should be able to just make an artificial reef off Queensland somewhere, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. No, hopefully I get it working again.
Our one wheel community any grief. It's not nice, is it?
Look, they're the biggest in all of PEV racing. Like, you look at America, they get hundreds of people to a start line. I'd love to see some more one wheel join. I know that this is a track race. We're more likely to see them jump in on a trail race. They're definitely more suited to the trails. But it'd be great to see that division grow as we do. There's definitely more Eastgate and EUC at the moment. But once we start getting onto trails, that might change things a little bit. And
I was just watching the most recent race for the rail over there in America. Man, that league is insane. Like they've got fans. Like the course is lined with fans, with billboards and signs, and these guys are winning. Like what's first place for the men's? Like 10 grand or something? It's serious money.
They put some money behind it for sure. It'd be nice to have that kind of resource behind us.
But they're a factory, or they're a company, right? That's one wheel doing that. That's a whole different league. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start adding to this carnival of chaos. I'm gonna bring in Taz, because obviously Taz had a lot to do with ERL, and he keeps telling me that he's only a racer now. So I know he's still mixed up with ERL a lot, but I'm gonna bring Taz in. Here he is to the stage. Taz, good to see you, mate.
They just have Taz for the looks, don't they? Isn't he the looks?
No, not at all.
Well, apparently Taz
That's
is
your guys' job.
Energetic enough. Apparently Chris Baff doesn't want to get in on the chat, so or come and say hello. He's just going to hide in some sort of dark corner and rock backwards and forwards.
He's the superstar of this race.
He'll be working on his bases, don't worry.
Yeah, he's working on a board right now. That's why he can't come on camera. Taz, how you going, mate?
Really good. Thank you guys for hosting this and having us. Appreciate it.
No, mate, it's our pleasure. As I said, I'm really pleased that Scott could join me for a co-host, and it's great to have you guys invite us into your space, and obviously put it on my channel because it was kind of cool. But we're just pleased to be able to share with the community what's going on. It's something that Eastgate Oz is, my little brand and Facebook page who I'm trying to grow and do more of. I'm really pleased to be able to host and do all this stuff for you guys. I mean, racing's a big chunk of it now, and it's the public part. A lot of people, ride and do their own backyard stuff and don't show the community what they're up to. But there's a lot of people out there doing a lot, and you guys are at the forefront of that community part because people want to see what's going on. They want to be involved. They want to know. So from my side, thank you very much. And Chris has just thrown up here. Oh, well, I'm actually reinventing the V5. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's still a question of whether or not he's racing on it at this stage, but we'll find out on the day, I guess.
He's got a week, right? He's got 5 days.
He's got 5 days.
Hey,
I've heard he's had a few teething issues, so we'll see.
Question for you, Taz. What tyres are you running next weekend?
Well, up until I recently checked the forecast, I was planning on running BRPs just because I'm quite used to them and I really do like the grip and feel of them. But every time I check the forecast, it's getting hotter and hotter. It's looking like it's going to be 32 degrees now on Saturday. So I don't think the BRPs are going to like that for 3 kilometers of racing at a time. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to do a bit of testing and see what happens. But
is each race 3 kilometers?
Well, I believe the track is about a 1,000-meter circuit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, maybe it is just under. So yeah,
Man,
at least 2.5.
Gonna be burning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were toying with the idea of doing 5 laps, but once we went to our big track, I was personally done after 3. Like even 2, I was like, because it's not the same as cruising around. You're like really pushing your legs, you're pushing your core, like you're really pushing your whole body as much as you can to go as fast as you can. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, in terms of tires, I think I bought like 6 different sets of wheels with me. I think Chris is going to try some too.
Yeah, nice.
And a few others we might share around some tires and just see what works for us all. So we'll see.
On that note, I think I better bring in the next guest because I saw this mad scientist going to town in Eastgate Con, and I tell you what, there was some weird action going on with tires in Vegas with this gentleman, and I'm going to bring him in. He is none other than the man himself from Radiant Performance with the Mach 1 board, which is not a race board, it's a race-inspired board, but I tell you what, I think it's going to Queensland, and I'm going to bring him in to tell us all about it, and his experimental tyre chaos that was going on in Vegas, because it is a bit of a story. Here he is.
Hello.
Liam,
how are you, everyone? I'm good.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the sun come out in the middle of a massive rainstorm.
Oh, lovely. You're living the dream. Classic
living the dream. Liam, what are you running? Oh, actually, firstly, what happened in Vegas with your wheels? Because it is a hell of a story.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. So during qualifying, it was very cold, and we thought we'd try our wheels out to start with. And so we're on the solid rubber 125 wheels, and Dylan got a 52.6 second lap time, which was pretty respectable. I think the fastest of the day was only around 50 seconds. So we made it into pro class with the solid rubber wheels, and then the next day we didn't test them because we managed to get the BRPs going and the track had warmed up a lot, and so the guys on BRP wheels were actually getting heat into them and they were getting a lot quicker. So we managed to put BRP wheels on the Mach 1, and we got down to like low 50-second lap times. So it was a little bit better, but also from the track heat, maybe not a huge amount better, surprisingly.
I've got to put a shout out to anybody who's got an Airbnb in Vegas near the track. If your microwave goes missing on the first day, don't stress. It'll probably be at Eastgate Con, hidden under a tarp or something at the back of someone's race tent. For those of who don't know, Liam went to town and made up some tire warmers and so forth to help with Dylan's traction. So when I talk about
literally the night before the race, we were like, trying to brainstorm. This is like, 11 o'clock at night in our Airbnb. We're trying to think, how can we get heat into these BRP tires so that they're already hot when we take off at the line, so we can get a really good launch and get good grip into the first corner. And we came up with the idea to go and buy some jeans and cut them up to make sandbags, basically, and then we were going to microwave the sandbags. And so we took the microwave from our Airbnb and I rode it over to the event in between my legs on my board.
There are photos, I believe, on Instagram somewhere of it.
And then our power was like upstream of the Stooge like main power line, so it was only one extension cable going to it, and so we were running our microwave off of that one cable, and it was taking ages to heat up the sand. So we basically just had it on constantly for hours, and people were having trouble charging. I lent Taz a charger, and he came to me and he's like, "I think something's wrong with the charger. It keeps turning off." And I knew exactly what was going on.
That was your microwave.
Oh, mate, it was a great experience, and it's one of the things that I've got to thank Brad and ERL for being able to try and bring some of that here and try and kick it off. I mean, as Scott said before, the racing in the US has already got a whole cult following, and it's growing really well, and everyone's loving it. But for us, if it wasn't for ERL and the work that Taz and Brad and others have done over the last few years, we wouldn't be in the position to have a race meeting in Queensland. So it's really, really good. Now, I'm going to bring in a little bit of smack talk. I'm going to bring in another guest that's hanging in the wings here, and I like to say he's a good mate, and I get to ride with him occasionally when I'm not couch surfing in the winter and here. But I'm going to bring him in. It is none other than Dylan Bell himself. Here he is. Now I've got on my screen, I've got you on opposite sides to Taz, so there's the smack talk and sort of smack Liam. So everybody who doesn't know, Taz was running pro class in Vegas. Dylan's first race meeting out on road. He has raced before on dirt, but on road it was his first tarmac experience for racing, and it was nudging around the pros pretty comfortably. Just there was a little bit of a tweak on group numbers and other stuff. So Dylan missed out by a point, unfortunately, to make the final pro. But the classes there's a bit narrow window for you, Dill. What's going on, man?
Oh man, it was devastating. I was really looking forward to racing with Taz and Jeff and all the other top pro racers. Just unfortunately, I got involved in a couple of crashes in all the races that I was in. And I just barely didn't qualify for the finals, so it was devastating. But I still had a lot of fun.
Skinned out by literally a point. Don't worry, it wasn't just me. There was so many people devastated.
It was class A, B, and C, right, for pro. Yeah. And if he was an A or B, that point would have been okay. He would have got into finals still. But because we were in C, just by chance, that 1 point wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was
devastating.
And it's really unfortunate because he definitely shook it up. Like when he came, Dylan comes with his own unique flair and style, and it was super unpredictable to ride behind or in front of. Like you never knew where he was coming from, if he was going to drift around you on the outside. So I think if he got into that final race, it would have really shaken it up. So it was really unfortunate the way it happened, but it's just more motivation for next time.
I heard a few of the races.
It was amazing. There was so many. Sorry, Scott. There were so many people out there, Dylan, who really wanted you to make the final too. So going to be. I know that Brad's going to do everything he can to get footage on the line pretty quickly for us somehow to try and show the rest of us what we're missing out on, what's going on. So I expected you two to have a little bit of smack talk. I actually didn't expect you to be so nice, Taz.
One thing I learned at eSkateCon was like, this sport, or the way it's moving in the culture, it's way more. I don't know. Everyone's got respect for each other. Everyone's just really excited to be around each other. Everyone's there for the same reason. So, yeah, there's no bitterness or anything like that towards each other. Everyone just wants everyone to do well and race clean. I think maybe eventually, as it gets like more serious, maybe there might be a bit of like more of that competitive spirit coming out, but. I mean, it's still competitive, but it's not bitter or anything like that. So it's a great sport to be a part of.
Most of us just really want the sport to grow, so we're just going to do whatever we can to help it grow.
Yeah. So sorry that we're not going to have too much drama here.
Maybe when there's more money involved and things will change. But
going to eSkateCon, I was really expecting that, like all the races to be like super like. Competitive and like kind of thing. Everyone was competitive, but it was also like everyone was helping each other out and like giving each other tips and talking about the track, and I thought that was really, really awesome.
It adds another dimension to our sport. I mean, behind closed doors over the years, you see chats and groups are just can be a little bit feral, but when you go to Eastgate Con, and Scott and I experienced this the first Eastgate Con we went to, it wasn't just the racing, it was the whole community was so engaged and so in love with what's going on and helping each other and just having fun. It was just about the experience more than everything else. Yeah, you guys out there racing are going for gold, you want it, but behind that, as you're lining up, there's as the attitudes change, the focus changes, and you get in there and race. But while you're prepping and everything before the race, like the hours beforehand, you guys are all like, "Hey, have you got this? Can you share this?" And I think I was chasing around to try and help Jeff with tires, with Blind Power, and a few others. Literally after the first day, because of the ground, the environment was so cold and it was a real struggle. So it was just awesome. It was just awesome to see.
Yeah, it was so funny. You'd come off the racetrack with the guys that you were just racing, and you'd pull out your phone and share your GPS data with them because you wanted to see their lines and see where you might have gone faster and where they might have gone faster. And I guarantee you, in pretty much every other motorsport at the moment, you would not get that. You wouldn't be sharing data, and you wouldn't be sharing tips and tricks. And it's just, it's an awesome environment and culture to be a part of. So hopefully it continues that way. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the actual race. It doesn't matter how much data you share. You just need to perform on the race. So hopefully people are, this sort of culture continues.
Question for you, Brad. Obviously Eastgate Con, you guys went, you took part, and Taz and Jeff and so on were over there, and you saw how they do it, which is, I mean, I'm not going to say it's the gold standard, but it's been successful 2 years in a row, and this is your third or fourth big event now. So, you guys have obviously got a lot to bring to the table as well. This particular race, your major sponsor is it Draghi? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Draghi Motorsports, yeah.
Now, are they a timing system or a GPS system? Like, was that something you'll be using up the track on the day, or are they just a sponsor to get involved?
They're we're definitely making use of it.
And just side note, we didn't. This isn't practiced. I'm just actually interested to know what Draghi is, because I've seen it pop up, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, I had it on hand ready for that. They're GPS timing race data. I'm really actually keen to see some of the results of that data and compare them and then have them ongoing for some of our other stuff is really nice to have. So they're our title sponsor, so they've come on board obviously for the naming rights. It's now called the Draghi 2024 Australian Track Championships. They've been a great help in just we were going to be bringing in an outside timing provider. We've got a backup system just to try and get the positions in place, just to have a quick turnaround. But this data is really helpful. Save us on that, and we're going to have. They provided everyone gets a jersey now. That wasn't a part of things before, so included in their race, they get a jersey to take home. They've just been helpful. From the start of dealing with them, they've been pretty good to work with, and hopefully we can build something ongoing with them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And to jump in there from a racer's perspective, having those standalone GPS units are going to help absolutely every competitor to analyze their lines and see where they can improve. So, as much as it's going to be helpful for the event, it's also going to be helpful for every individual racer. So it's probably going to be the first race of its kind where every rider has a GPS unit, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And just a follow-up question for you, Taz, and it's a two-part question. What's the biggest thing you learnt from going to Eastgate Con as a racer, and the biggest thing you learnt going to Eastgate Con as a race organizer?
I guess as a race organizer, there were a few systems that I really liked. I really liked how they had dedicated, and it all comes down to having the numbers of people who can help you. We're obviously limited in that department, but they had a massive team, so they could have someone just stewarding or collecting all of the riders and getting them ready to go on the grid. Then they had someone separate walking them to the grid. Then they had someone separate starting them. And so there was just all these different individual units working together.
There was a lot more people. There was a lot more people this year than the previous year. Like they even had someone manning the race entry point this year, which was a great idea because there was no collisions as people went.
That was one of the main the key roles that I want to implement, or that we are implementing on this race, is having someone dedicated to stewarding and coordinating the riders, because yeah, that's just key, making sure everyone's ready and on time to go. It keeps the day flowing. So yeah, definitely having those roles was a key point. And then as a racer, I guess I did see a lot of, like, there were a lot of crashes, way more than I've ever seen in any other race event. And part of that was because of the grid formation, I think, having 3 in a row. So we're avoiding that. We're going to do 2 in a row. And I think it should always be like that. You should only ever be either facing someone or behind someone so you can see where each other are, just from a safety point of view. And then just, I guess, in terms of splitting the seating, having it set so that it's not split evenly but split by times, I think is a much more fair way to do it. So yeah, they're the two main things I learned. I can hear my daughter screaming out for me, so I'm just going to quickly check if she needs something. Sorry.
Now, is the daughter the new one or the old? Is the young?
No, the oldest one. So I think she might just be trying to be annoying. Sorry.
That's right. I'll give him some privacy while he's out. Can
I just ask? I'm having a mind blank. Jeez. Dreads.
Dylan.
Dylan. God. Yeah. God damn! I was like, oh my god, I'm having a seniors moment.
Who made you a co-host?
I know, right?
That's right. Just call me Dreads. I get that a lot.
Do you know what's throwing me off? Is it directly under his box that says 5 p.m. So I'm like, why is the name down as 5 p.m.?
Oh yeah. Oh, because that's part of the banner.
Yeah. Someone organised a poor background. Same thing for you. Like, what was the biggest thing you learned? I guess going to Eastgate Con as a racer, or going to an event like that for. I'm guessing it's probably your first real proper time. Was there something that you were surprised at, or something you learnt over that weekend?
I was actually quite surprised at how big it was. Like, I knew it was going to be big, but it was huge. It was good to see such a great turnout. Racing was very interesting. It was a lot of fun. There was definitely, like, it's only the 3rd year they've done it, so there's still lots they can improve on. But there was lots that they got really right, and it was a lot of fun. I learned how dangerous it was.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it fair to say that you are quite what's the way? How do I want to say it? Because the way you push the limits on the board, right? Everyone understands you push the limits of what you can do on a board, and so you do have quite a few little spills here and there. You know, when you're doing your donuts and your wheelies.
Oh yeah.
So when you race, are you less scared because you go, well, I'm used to falling. If I fall, I'm just going to roll and get back up and keep going. Because when I get on the racetrack, I've hopped on the track both years, and the first year was not a problem. I didn't race, but I was doing laps with everyone, easy, no worries. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, because I'm at my age, I'm like, if I fall, I am going to hospital. I'm putting my back out, I'm breaking my knee, and I'm going to be sore for a month. Do you have a little bit less fear because you do, I guess, stumble quite regularly because of how hard you push the board constantly?
Yeah, I think I don't have as much fear of me stacking. Like, if I do take a spill, I know what to do.
Yeah.
But that's just me on the board by myself. When I'm racing with other people, it brings on a whole new aspect of it, and it's super, super dangerous. And the track was really, really slippery, so that played a big part. I wasn't really ready for that. I don't think anyone was. But yeah, does anyone know what the track is going to be like?
Apparently they've resurfaced the track. Like, they didn't realize it was going to happen because it's used for concerts and stuff, and they'd put some kind of coating over the asphalt, and it was way slipperier than the year before. And you could feel it. Like, it just felt greasy. And I had a crash. I was just doing some warm-up laps, just trying to feel out the track. I was having the best time, and I just locked up the brakes coming into a turn. Had a massive stack, got a concussion, and I think I cracked a rib, and I was pretty much out of riding for a little while. And
when was this? Sorry,
this was at Eastgate Con. It was like day 2 or 3, and finally, like, our tent had gotten a bit quiet, and I was like, all right, cool, I can go try out the track. I've been here for like 2 days, haven't ridden on the track at all. And so I was just doing some laps, and I think what happened was William, yelled out on my second lap that I did a 57-second, and I was literally just feeling it out, having fun. And I was like, oh, that's pretty quick. So then I started going a bit faster, and then after my third lap, I just cooked the brakes going into a turn, and I didn't expect the rears to just lock up and ice out like that. So, then I kind of realized, man, this is kind of dangerous. Like I wouldn't be able to race if just after doing 3 laps.
Yeah, isn't it funny that when you're not trying, when you're relaxed, you do well. Like in the first year when I was doing laps, my fastest lap by about 3 seconds was the second lap I'd done of the day, and I had a 360 camera in my hand. Wow. And I had the track to myself, and I was just having fun, and I was like, oh, that's the fastest lap I've done the whole weekend. And it was like with a 360 camera, I was just cruising. But I went back and looked at the footage. I was like, yeah, God, I was on fire. But as soon as but then when I start trying, then I start mucking up the lines and missing the apex, and stupid.
It.
Exactly.
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
for sure. When I've been training, like if I just stop looking at the phone, like looking at the data for a second, and just switch off and actually just let the board do the work and myself, I guess, and not think about it. Yeah, every now and then I'll break a record, and I'm like, holy crap! Like I wasn't even like it wasn't. It didn't feel hard. It's weird. It's like muscle memory, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
sorry, I had to go. My daughter was actually watching, and she was super excited and came in. And
so, what's her name?
Lila.
Hi, Lila.
She might not be watching it. I think she's gone running around in the backyard, but she'll watch it later. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
And I was going to ask you one last question, then you can have it back. I promise. I'm hijacking.
Go for it, mate. You're doing great.
And Liam, have you done anything special to the boards coming to Queensland? Are we still operating stock standard?
Yep.
Talk vector,
stock standard.
The drama. Yep. Nice. That's what I like to see.
Nothing special. Yeah.
I don't believe in.
They are.
Yeah. Another. Yeah. He'll have 3 microwaves under his table.
You found a way to hide batteries. Extra batteries in my dreads.
That's it. Has he told you? He told us before you came on. He's going to ask you to shave your head just for aerodynamics.
Yeah.
I heard he was going to be wearing a weighted vest.
Yeah.
Get more traction.
or even better, get him in just a spandex suit, just to really cut back on,
Spandex and asphalt.
So Liam, gonna jump onto you right now. You're racing this time. Like I know you before that you were practicing and you're running laps and stuff, and you had some challenges. You're actually going to race. What's going on?
Oh, I can't miss out on the fun. I mean, we've got quite a bit of time.
He just wants the race jumper.
It's not going to be as rushed as Eastgate Con. So I'll actually, we're not going to be having our own tent and trying to do marketing and stuff and show the board off to as many people. So, there's going to be more time to jump on the track. And if I'm going to be on the track, I might as well be getting timed and doing it competitively, because why not?
Exactly.
Awesome.
And
I want to see how I compare too.
And being such a big track, hopefully you guys will space. Hopefully, being such a big track over 3 laps, they'll space out a little bit too. Hopefully,
definitely. I think they will.
I want them all together. Don't space out. I want battles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, spot the race organizer.
I think because the race layout.
Hopefully, we'll be close. Otherwise, we'll have to start introducing regulations.
Yeah,
I think that's the argument for introducing some short track racing into the mix for a national comp to try and keep it nice and tight, but obviously not dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big difference. I mean, Eastgate Con this year was the course was very tight and technical, and I think looking at the course that you're running this time, there are some very long straight areas. EUCs are going to have a blast, and they're going to really show some performance. You're going to hear them absolutely beat their faces off. It's going to be a lot of fun for the spectators, and there's going to be a few nervous. Can I say this? Nervous buttholes puckering going down those roads. Listen to that beeping, accelerate, and get faster and faster. But with Eastgate, it's going to be interesting to see your straight line speed, whose motors are going to handle those sort of lengths on repeat, and then be able to transition into those corners pretty hard too. So it's going to be a bit of a different, I suppose, race setup for Liam and Dill, because we had a very technical, aggressive turning circuit in Vegas.
Yep.
But something very different for you guys. Are you guys looking at it differently and thinking, okay, do we need, how are we going to gear this and this sort of stuff? Or are you just, just do a Dylan Bell and just go out there and just choke the chicken and just see how you go?
Yeah, honestly, probably don't have to change much. I mean, because of the split angle of our boards, it's pretty stable even at like 70 kilometers per hour. So I don't know. I don't think we'll be changing much from like our street setup really. We'll be doing some testing and playing around. It's going to depend, but yeah, we're geared for that speed already by default. So
poor old Taz is sitting there going, I've got 15 things to do to my board, and I need to change the gear and do it.
I did. I had to do a lot. It's definitely not versatile.
In the house as well.
You can see all these V5 nutty professors going absolutely ballistics before the racing, going, I've got to.
What are you planning as far as, because yours is 4-wheel drive, right, Taz? You doing 4-wheel drive?
Yes, yeah. I'll be staying with the 4-wheel drive. Yeah.
What's your
basically? Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, depending on how you gear it, what's your tops? What are you aiming for as a top speed on the day?
I've geared it to it's around 77 k's an hour.
Okay.
So that's, I probably won't be able to max past that. I don't know if I have the confidence to max past that, to be honest. It's not that, I haven't gone that fast yet.
So you're just gonna race it in beginner mode?
No, the problem with gearing higher is that you will lose torque. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, turning and everything will be pretty easy for me. It'll be the straights that I'll really be pushing myself. But yeah, so I've geared it higher, much higher than eSkateCon anyway, and then I'll be changing the angle of the radius rods on the 3-links so they're just more stable at the front, because they were for eSkateCon they just had to turn on a dime, and we don't really need that as much here on this track. So yeah, a couple of adjustments, nothing too major, but definitely more work than nothing.
Making sure the wheel bolts are super tight.
Yes, definitely have to make sure that the wheel bolts are actually on.
I think there's a story. I mean, there's a hint here of a story, but I believe there is a story, Taz. You want to tell?
Yeah. Oh, there's a post on our Instagram. We were doing some track practice at a big track, which is quite similar to Sandy Creek, and basically just seeing how fast we could go and trying out gearing and things like that. And I set my fastest lap, which I think the top speed was about 73.5 k's. And I was getting some weird wobbles around the corners, or like the wheel was kind of stuttering on one side, and I was like, what's going on here? I thought the gearing wasn't meshing properly or something was going wrong. And then I had a massive wobble going at about 60 k's, and I luckily saved it. Jeff thought I was going for sure because he was just behind me. And couldn't work out what it was. I was spinning the wheels and couldn't see anything. And then as soon as I stopped spinning the wheels, the wheel just like chucked, like it wobbled. It was basically coming off, and realized that all 4 bolts on the wheel hub were just off basically, or loose. So set the fastest lap on a wobbly wheel, which is really lucky that nothing worse happened.
Yeah, crazy.
Maybe you learned something. Maybe you got to run them a little bit loose for the final race. It's got to last how many laps? 5 laps?
Oh.
I think we're sticking with 3, but yeah, I'll definitely be checking those bolts pretty much after every race and before every race.
Yeah, good idea. And when does everyone get into Queensland? What days are you flying in?
I fly in. I get there at like midnight on Wednesday night, and then we'll be driving to Warwick on the Thursday morning. We got to pick up our stuff from the airport, all the boards and stuff.
Yep.
I think Brad's the same.
Yeah, I'm Wednesday. I think we're going to stay in Brisbane the Wednesday night. So we'll get in a bit earlier than you and collect the hire car and everything like that. I've just pinned the reel for that wobbly wheel, so anyone who's interested, they can have a look on our Instagram. It's pinned. It's pretty ridiculous, but yeah.
What about the Melbourne guys?
We're driving up. We're leaving on Thursday morning, so we're probably going to get there around Friday afternoon.
Why are you driving?
Because how are we going to get our boards up? It's going to cost.
Ship it. I could have sent you a label. You just ship it. We have done.
Yeah.
Because we're going to camp
out
there
with
as
that
well.
too. So
What'd you say, Liam?
We're going to camp out at the campgrounds too. So
fair enough. So you need your
got
car.
all
and
that
everything.
stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Road trip.
How long is
They'll road trip it. They'll probably Sydney on the way back, and then Canberra on the way through, maybe.
How long's the drive?
Yeah.
Heading in Canberra.
It's about 18 hours if we don't make any stops.
Did you say 18?
Yeah.
Sponsored by Alan Snakes and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Simply Red Bull.
Mate, that's the standard, right? New Zealand road. Sorry?
Are we going to be driving up all in one shot, or like just switching out drivers, or what's happening? I don't even know what the plan is. I'm going with them.
Dylan, they're putting the swag in the back of the ute for you, mate. You're just going to sleep in the swag. You'll be fine.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
We didn't even know they were even going to be coming until last few days. Kind of.
I think it was last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a Hopefully there'll be a board you can.
fair.
Hopefully there'll be a board you can leave with me for a couple of days, and I can ship it back to you like a week later.
Interesting suggestion.
Interesting suggestion.
I ship
Just
to
hit them up
Melbourne
to go
almost.
for a ride on the way on the foot around.
I ship stuff to Melbourne almost every day. You know, it's not a problem.
Are you goofy or regular?
Goofy.
Oh.
The only way.
Well,
I'm
that's not a
I'm
bad
regular,
idea.
so you can't
Maybe,
take mine.
Goofy by name, goofy by nature.
The nice thing, Craig. The nice thing is Craig's actually a good ride because you're regular from memory, right? So when Craig and I ride, we can talk to each other because we're face to face.
Yeah, that's good.
which is good for some and not good for others because I never shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
go.
No, I was just going to say. So what's the plan? It's a 2-day event, which is huge, which is amazing for ERL to have a 2-day event. Yeah. You've got on-site camping, which is awesome. What have you got organized? Like, have you got a DJ like you did at the Mega Fast Race Day, anything like that? I know that was
I'm trying to find that still. I've been trying to convince Red Bull to come and bring a truck, one of their Red Bull DJ trucks down, but
that would be
it's
cool.
kind of fallen on deaf ears at the moment. So,
hey, Craig, don't we know someone sponsored by Red Bull?
I knew you were going to go there.
We don't.
Actually, you might have more luck reaching out to Monster. I've seen Monster energy drinks at a couple of these more bespoke events, and they do turn up. So you may actually, if you reach out, you may find someone there.
It's getting tight now, like the time frame. I've actually got another energy drink brand kind of I'm talking to now that are interested in something further along, but it's too close to this one. So
is it Lucasade? No, I'm joking.
It's not. I haven't got anything from them yet, so they can pay us before I tell their name.
Ain't nothing wrong with Up and Go.
Love a few up and goes every now and again.
That's it.
But, there's a couple of things slightly different to what our initial plan was. We didn't get a lot of one-wheel register. We ended up with a third one coming in last minute. So we're actually going to merge the one-wheel class with the Eastgate sports class. We do know that a couple of these guys, I'm not sure about the third one-wheeler, but a couple of these guys actually, they're riding Vesk wheels, so they can go a bit quicker than what the stock standard one wheel is. So they might actually be in the mix with the sports class. They could even beat some of them. Like I think one of the guys was going like 50 something k's an hour on a one wheel. So that's for the sports class. They should be able to stay on top of things. So
yeah, cool.
It's just going to buy us time to have more free ride time, more exhibition relay races, and some other stuff in the mix without it being, taking up so much track time for three people to go around.
I wore my one wheel hat just for you, Brad.
Oh, cheers.
Is your hat bricked?
No.
Yeah. Mine got wet. Mine. I had like one screw slightly too long in the wrong place, and it bricked. It went through my battery enclosure just enough to crack it, and then I was riding across the slick water, and it kind of just got in there, and that killed that. The BMS started on that. So the annoying thing with one wheel, I think it's changing soon with the right to repair laws. But if I want to fix my wheel or I want to get parts for it, they expect me to ship it to America with all the lithium inside it. It's not cheap. But Taz, you know how most people in this chat know what it costs shipping lithium batteries around the world to get places. So it kind of made my warranty worth nothing. So I've gone with the float wheel, which are kind of a little bit of a I don't know how they're going with IP infringements and stuff against one wheel. But look, if I can buy parts in Australia and just fix a part that I need, it just makes sense. So I've gone that path now. But I won't be racing this one. I've kind of these guys, the guys who are racing, the two of them that I do know of, like Scotty won the trail championships when we had had that running. They go quick, and I wouldn't even stick with them, and I can't risk getting injured when trying to keep an event running as well. So
yeah, fair enough. Good question. Good two good questions there. One, will be any EUC races? Obviously, that's a big yes. There'll be the 2 classes, right?
Yep.
The fast ones and the slow ones.
Yeah, pro and sports we call it.
The fast ones and the faster ones.
Yeah, exactly. Because how are you rating them? Is it the fast
ones and the no beep ones?
Is the sports, are they up to 70? Up to 7?
We haven't. We haven't set a like a speed limit on the wheels. It's just whatever speed you can achieve. So
okay,
it's open class really. So there will be pro and sportsman, and it'll just be split wherever we find a big gap in the times is where we'll split the groups up.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
And
unlike
Craig,
the mega fast one.
Pardon?
Unlike the mega fast, where we did have 2 different divisions based on the wheel capabilities, it's
I honestly feel it should be, if you beep, you're in the pro, and if you don't beep, you're out of the pro. So as soon as you beep, that's it. You're up the next class.
that mega fast race day, after that weekend, I had sore shoulders from every time the EUCs went past and they were beeping. I was like, oh. they pushed, man. Those guys know the limits of their wheels and push them to it. It's scary.
Now, my quick one, I'll just jump in here.
Yes,
no,
please.
I haven't put the 3 links on my deck and everything yet. Boo, I know. I was actually thinking about trying to get another battery, and I was going to build a brand new board and all the rest of it. And so I'm sort of sitting in a quandary, but I've played with them. I've put them up to the board. I've had a look at them. I'm so keen. It's not funny, but that will be coming. I've just been filming 2 other boards, so they're coming to the channel soon too.
Secret ones, or can you tell us what they were?
One of them is the Meepo Voyager. What is it?
X Limited.
Limited, which has got a sexy light around the outside of it, which is kind of funky delicious. And I've had a NYX Z3.
Nice.
The latest one. So I've been playing around with that. So a couple of things coming up.
Hey,
anyway, I've got another one from.
Just really quickly. Just really quickly. What did you think of the Meepo? Because I was really impressed for a longboard. I was really impressed with its power. Like it's got good mid-range acceleration. I've got to say, one of the things I love about electric skateboards, and I don't know if I'm alone here, and I'm probably a max wank factor here, but I love the sound of it. Yeah. It's like a jet fighter, right? It's
beautiful little gear drives are just they sound awesome,
and they're loud. Really you compare it to like the Ace Decks or even the Lin Power ones. They're loud. They scream.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the sound of gear drives, but I love the sound of belts as well. So when Liam and I went out on the Mach 1, I love the sound of that. It is just
But for
polyurethane belts,
good sounding board.
But for $1,000 board, to be able to sit on 45, hit the throttle, and within like 2.5 seconds be at 60, they've done a really nice job. I mean, I hate Lingy. It's just horrible. Yeah. But this one is actually their 4.0 FOC, whatever bullshit they've done. It's legitimately good for $1,000 board.
Yeah. Brad, this is a question for you and Taz, I suppose.
Yes.
Please say someone is going to live stream the races. Electrify Expo is this weekend, and no one streamed the races.
This comes up a bit. I didn't get to go to eSkateCon, and I would have loved to have been able to tune in from a live stream. But the bottom line is it's not cheap to operate. We will be working on. We've got some crew. We're going to be working on some live streaming stuff across the next year at least. But in Queensland, like a lot of those guys are our local crew in WA, we can't really afford to ship them all over to Queensland just for a weekend. I would love to do it. But in all honesty, it costs us like $20,000 to $30,000 to do it properly. I don't want to half-ass it when we do it. Luckily we were able, through Draggy coming on board and some of our other sponsors who chipped some money in, we were able to increase our media. So we'll have more cameras on site, but we won't necessarily be doing it as a live stream. We'll be trying to get as much content as possible, but I might jump on my phone and do some.
You should, because I did the live streams at their Mega Fast Race Day from my phone, and people watched those. People said that was good enough.
Joe W. Was at the last Electrify Expo and the one before, I'm not sure. And he was live streaming, and I watched every time it came on. I literally had alerts set up, and every time it came on, I was watching as much of it as I could, and I loved it. It was awesome.
And the quality these days is fine. Like if you've got a good cell signal, it's it's fine. Jimmy Patel, no one in Australia at least, especially not Craig or I. Cost too much.
Just Jimmy, just to give you 2 cents on that one. Basically, Cincinnati Eastgate and what's his name? We basically took them out to the latest Electrify Expo. So on their way across, they took 2 of them with them to ride them and show them off and stuff as well. I think so. I think a couple of them are out there, but I don't think many of them actually made it into customers' hands, let alone reviewers' hands yet. Yeah. So keep waiting; they'll come. Aaron Plan has just thrown up another one. Reception for the track is a bit spotty all around too. So unfortunately, even YouTube Live, etc., will be a miss. Okay.
The problem is there's too many koalas and kangaroos out there which block the signal.
Thanks for that, Aaron. I really appreciate that that bit of information. That's really important.
Yeah.
So, guys, August 31, September 1, pretty epic. It's only a week away. You guys start traveling at the end of this week.
Start of this week. I'm so excited to hope somebody does stream something because I want to see it as well. So if you can, Brad, at least pick up someone's phones or just steal Taz's phone at the start of the weekend and just press feed and just live all the time. Yeah. He'll love it. He'll love it.
I do as much as I can, but I'm also going to be trying to running around, put out whatever fires come up, answer people's questions, make sure people's draggies are connected, help at the timing desk. We've got a good crew there helping with that, so hopefully they can manage it. They probably shouldn't need me at all, but I'll be running around everywhere just trying to put out whatever fires pop up and just keep it running smoothly. But as much
hopefully
as I can,
real fires.
I'll get the camera out there. Pardon?
Hopefully no real fires.
Yeah.
No, the touch wood on that one for sure.
Final question for Taz, just from me. Then I'll let you finish what you want to say. Taz, I need to know your secret because you're a father of 2, and Eastgate Con. I think you had just had a newborn baby. Was that right? Baby, your son was just born, and you came to Vegas for a week. And now you're coming to Queensland for a few days on Father's Day. What's the secret?
I don't know. I just have a really supportive wife and family. I'm extremely grateful, and she's super understanding. To be honest, this is like the one and only passion and hobby I have, and I put as much as I can into it, and she appreciates that, and I appreciate her.
I've met your wife, and she's far too nice for you. She's a lovely lady.
Yes, absolutely.
It only cost me 4 pairs of Jimmy shoes and some Shador and something else.
But you're an electrician, right? So you're flush with cash.
Nah, definitely not. No, but very grateful.
You'll get an EUC before you know it too. So he earns it, he spends it.
I'd love to get an EUC, but definitely won't be getting one anytime soon, especially if I've got my eyes on a V5.
That's right. We can do your deal for cash. I know you tradies like cash.
Just to let you know, Draggy is Motorsports is sponsoring the event. Not sponsoring this live stream. Neither Zenboards, just in case, because we seem to have a lot of chat about the endurance here. But it's interesting to see the endurance 2 made the fastest lap time at Electrify Expo in stock. So that's interesting to hear. It'll probably be about the same price as a V5 or something by the time it gets out here in Australia, but would be really nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of chat's coming on here. Oh, there you go. So we're getting some advice here on it. Good. Yeah, tech talk in the background, which is good. Always good. Now, I've got to ask, Liam, you're driving up. If Dill, you're going to be co-piloting. Who else is going with the Radium team?
Anthony is coming as well.
Okay, so you've got a team of 3.
Yeah. No, William's in China at the moment, working on the Mach 1 production.
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
I'm hoping to get to China. I'm hoping to get to China at the end of the year with Craig. We're trying to tee up a Chinese trip to go see all the factories.
Really? Which city?
I can't say it. I'm not going to try it. I'll murder it. What's the main one?
Shenzhen?
That's it.
Sweet.
Shang.
When which month are you guys going?
I'm looking towards the end of the year, like October, November.
And yeah, so
but
if I go,
but if you're going, nothing's locked in. If you're going, we can tee something up. It'd be awesome.
Me and William will be there around then, I think.
Oh, good. I can sleep on your couch. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
sleep on William's auntie's couch, I think it isn't it?
Well, you saw that. Hey, what about that room I showed you? That we almost took off to China a few weeks ago. Just on like
we did. We literally on a Wednesday or Thursday we saw they had a big event over in
Backfire X-Way had a race event on.
Yeah, had a race event on, and we literally found out about it on Thursday, and we're trying to figure out should we go because you don't need I think you got 15 days without needing a visa now or something.
Yeah, you don't need a visa anymore, which is awesome. Yeah.
So anyway, that was the hotel room was like $150 Australian for the night, and it looked like some sort of grand palace out of Vegas. Some of the
ridiculous.
Anyway, it was awesome. So, guys, Dill, how you feeling? You pumped? Keen?
Oh, very pumped. I haven't had a lot of practice recently. Just recovering from my shoulder injury. That's pretty much all good now. I've been up and riding again with weather permitting. Yeah.
Those of you who don't know, Dylan actually
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
His shoulder straight after Eastgate Con before he went to Braille Skate and did the video with Braille. And there was a story behind it, but I won't go into it. But so Dill literally came home from that with a bit of a sore shoulder still recovering. Yeah, no,
no problem now.
You couldn't tell on the Braille video.
No, Heidi's
absolutely killing it.
Insane.
Yeah.
One day when you're allowed back in America, we'll talk about that story a bit more.
Yes, sounds good.
I'm just joking. I don't really have much more to say, guys. I'm just so stoked that you're here. I'm spewing. I can't be there with you all because I know that'll be an absolutely epic time. Yeah, I'm just devoed. So I'm gonna let first Taz. I'll let you have a last few words and tell us about what you're thinking and some of the prep you're doing and get into it. And then I'll go around the screen and bring everyone in.
Great. Well, thanks again for having us. Also wanted to say a big thanks to the Southeast Queensland Eastgate crew because they've stepped up and they've actually helped a lot with the race ops leading up to and on the day. They're going to be helping us out. So massive shout out to those guys, Alex and Aaron and Chris.
Yeah, these guys are awesome crew here in Queensland. They really run a tight ship.
And it's good to see that they're like stepping up and they're running intro to speeds and things like that now too, which is great. But yeah, you've covered quite a lot. We've got the 2-day event. We've actually added in a third heat of racing now, which is great. So we get an extra heat of racing. Awesome. What else have we got? I'm going blank. We've added in a state championship race. So basically, riders will be accumulating points across the races, and the top E-skate and the top EUC racer will enter the state champion race, and they'll be representing their state. So I think we have 4 or 5 states represented.
I think we've got so we've obviously got WA, Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, and Victoria. So that's 5.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have that championship race as like a bit of an exhibition novelty race at the end, which will be a lot of fun. And we'll be running those after the finals as well, because we obviously don't want to have any injuries before the finals. We do have another novelty race that we're yet to announce, and we'll probably announce that on the event day, because to be honest, we've got lots of ideas, and we're going to sort of feel it out on the day and see what people are up for. We'd like to do like a multi-PV relay race, but we might do a reverse track race. I think we're just going to check out what everyone else is keen on and run it. That's the beauty of
maybe do a Father's Day running race, and the friend and the person who wins it gets a
3K run. I don't know about that.
One lap. It's Queensland. All right. I'm going to move on to Dylan.
Yeah, go for it.
Give me a sum up, big fella.
Well, I'm really excited to see you all there next week. Not you, Craig. Unfortunately, you're not going to be there. That sucks. But I'm really excited that Liam's racing.
Yes.
I'm excited to give him some tips and tricks and see how he does.
True.
What tips
I heard
and
he's
tricks?
pretty quick too, actually. So
There's going to be smack
He's
talk
very
between the
quick.
Radium boys here.
What's that?
There's going to be a bit of smack talk between the Radium boys now.
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think we're
my
gonna
talk vectoring's better than yours. My settings are better.
Yeah, don't.
I think I'll
upset
be
him
out
too
of the
much.
job if he beats
Tag
me.
you a bit.
Yeah.
You might have to walk home.
No way. I haven't got your style, Dylan. Even if I'm faster.
yeah,
And those who have seen Liam ride know that he loves to go quick. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I am, as I said, devastated I'm not there, but to see you two local boys from Melbourne representing, it's gonna be great, and I'm stoked to hear all about it. Liam, give me your 2 cents, big fella.
Yeah, I just can't wait. Look, even if I wasn't racing, it's just so much fun to be at a racetrack with, open gear drive setups blasting around, and just the atmosphere is amazing. So the fact that we're going to be there for a couple of days camping out, it's just going to be such a good time with all our boards. So yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. Brad, I'm going to come to you in a minute. I'm going to just say Jeff Cameron, who couldn't be on the stream tonight and won't be at the race meetings, I'm devastated for him. I know he'll either watch this back later or he might be in the stream watching at home. Mate,
don't feel too bad for him. Don't feel too bad for him. Taz is happy. Taz will be happy he's not there. Don't worry about it.
But Taz and
No,
Jeff,
I'm devastated that he's not coming, to be honest.
Of course.
Yeah.
they're like the twins. They're like, it's I just want to big quick shout out to Jeff, and I hope he's okay, because I know that he's probably devastated that he can't go as well. Anybody else out there, if you are thinking about heading up there, Sandy Creek Raceway, Queensland, the suburb of where?
Warwick.
In Queensland, about an hour's drive from Brisbane, as everyone knows, 2 hours drive from Brisbane. It's a nice place, nice track. It's got a pub next door to it. Your camping and everything's available on site. So if you want to bring up your camping gear, bring up your camping gear. There it is there. It is a pretty epic looking track. It's been in all the promos the guys have put out, and the guys have advertised it really well. So make sure you get involved. I'm going to quick shout out to Zoe in the background. I can see little arms there.
Craig just said hi to you.
I know, I heard.
Okay.
Scott's co-pilot.
Yep.
Brad, give us a wrap up for the back end of this, and also, who, from my side, who would you like to see sponsor in the community of producers, manufacturers to get involved in the future? Because I know it's something that we need, and I know that I want to give you 2 seconds to sort of give us a bit of a rundown on who out there, and name and shame. Name them. I want people to help us out.
Well, I'll start by saying those who are supporting us, and then tell everyone else out there, get amongst it. So, it does take a lot to go into this. We put in heaps of our own time, which is we're not paid for any of that, and we're trying to, everything we kind of earn goes straight back into it. So, people who have helped us on this event. So obviously, Drag is our title sponsor, which has been great.
Thank you, Draggy, for looking after everyone up there. It's awesome.
Flow State Eastgate jumped on board really early with this one. We've got X-Way Australia have jumped on as well. They're going to be doing some demo area in there.
That's great.
E-Cruise have jumped on as a sponsor. E-Cruise Australia. We've got Mars and Energy have helped with, I think they hook up Taz with his batteries. They're really helpful. The Radium team, obviously in the chat here, they're coming over, and it does take a lot to send a crew over as well as the other support they give us. So, and then we've even got a Renong Muay Thai, who we actually one of our guys helping us edit, Max. His family have got a gym in Thailand, and bit of a crossover with Jeff being he's a BJJ black belt, and so we've got a bit of a crossover thing with them with the Muay Thai. So they've been really helpful and sent us a bit of money to help us recover from the Eastgate Con expenses. They're our sponsors for this one, but I mean, on top of that, we've also had thanks to e-riders as well for helping us with some of our logistics and letting us send pallets their way, and using their accounts for that kind of stuff is really helpful too. As much as we would have loved to have had you there in full capacity, that's still really helpful to us all the same. So look,
it's killing both of us. We can't.
We're definitely gonna make sure that everyone can get to the next one. We just have to make it happen, and it's annoying that it's happening.
We literally talk about it almost every day. Like we're like,
So I suppose from me, and this is just from my side, Brad and Taz, I didn't know you had all those sponsors, and that is awesome. That is so good to see so many awesome companies getting involved with you guys. Mate, chuck them up on your website. Give them the promo.
They actually already
that is just X-Way, E-Cruise, Radium, Draggy, of course, is the main corporate sponsor of it. Wow, that's epic. That is so cool.
We're going to get some of that info out pretty soon. Like, a lot of it's come in very last minute, and we've just been like finalizing signage and all the little bits and pieces. So it's all come in. I've still got to kind of send a bill to some of them, but it's all in good faith. We trust them. So yeah, we're going to get some stuff out on Instagram and stuff like that soon as well. So definitely want to give them as much exposure as possible, because it really does help.
Anyway,
hey Lala, how you doing?
Hello.
And I think the one thing
has been hijacked.
Being Father's Day event basically on the Sunday, we've got to give a shout out to everyone's kids who are letting their dads go, such as Taz. It's going to be an awesome Father's Day for those who are able to make it. David Perry, any news on events happening near Melbourne? This is more of a question for probably Liam.
Oh, mate.
Just how I avoided that.
There's look, we want to work with ARL if possible to run something down here. It's just that you know, with Radium we're incredibly busy this year, but you know, there's a big groundswell of quite a lot of people that want to run events here. Like, they want to see it happen, and they're willing to support it, and you know, people want to help actually run events and everything, but it's all kind of scattered. We just need to bring everyone together and actually make it happen. And the hardest part is just finding the location. So there's a few places where we've been looking at that look like a possibility, but you know, some of these locations are pretty big, where we'd have to do it kind of properly, like what ARL is doing. It's not a spontaneous sort of track night kind of thing. So we'd have to organize it months in advance, and that's, you know, a decent commitment. So yeah.
And some of these places want a lot of money for the hire too. Sorry to cut in there, Liam. There's like lots of options, and then you go to check it out, and then some of them want $10,000 for the day, and it's just not feasible. So as more as we find those venues, I went and visited one in Albury this year. So whether or not that's an option, I still actually need to get in touch with them. But there's a nice outdoor track there. But yeah, sorry to cut in there, Liam, but the track access and having options is half the battle.
Exactly. And so until we can figure out the financial side, find the right venue that doesn't want an arm and a leg to book it out for a day, we're just going to be we're getting the URL Underground Race League nights going again. So we're going to be trying to run as many of those as we can. So at least people can just
a little bit about that, haven't we, Liam? We've sort of threatened what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to try and help Liam with that down here in Melbourne. So, and I know David Perry, who threw up the question originally. I know that he's in the Underground Racing League here in Melbourne as well. So I know that we'll put some pressure on him to get his blowers in and his, to clean the tracks down again like he used to. So, there is more coming to our scene, but we definitely need to get more active in the scene for racing, because there are quite a few people with very fast boards. There's quite a few Radium boards down here now as well. So there could be a Radium Racing League, basically, or a Radium race.
That would be so cool.
Their own Radium race.
I'd love to just see everyone on the same board.
RRL.
It would be really interesting because part of the problem is like we fly to the other side of the world on a board that's super fun on a racetrack, but then you're competing against like Formula One boards that have 40 horsepower, $2,500 motors, and it's just
it's like putting up a sports tour up against an F1 car. It's fun, but it's not reality, I suppose.
I'd love to see everyone on the same equipment that's still built for racing, but yeah, it would be really
it's
fun.
kind of the Wild West at the moment, just because it's so new and everyone's trying to. You wouldn't get a field of races together if they were expected to all be on the same board. You wouldn't get the numbers. So, I'd like to see maybe like a constructor class of like the pro level kind of stuff, and like you've got the different boards supporting some of the races. Potentially would be ideal. I do see there being some kind of regulation eventually, but in the meantime, I guess the Wild West has its pros as well. So that'll come as the sport develops, I think.
Definitely.
So, Scott, I'm going to give you Sorry, Liam, you want to fly something else?
No, it's just
I was going to say I really want to see I really want to see an endurance race, like a 30, 50 kilometer race. That'd be really cool to see.
That'd be cool. Like a Bathurst skate.
That'd be like rally style.
Tire management, battery management, pit stops.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, on road.
We've been toying with the idea of doing a charity race like that, and having it would be on the short track over here, but we could tee up with a charity where like the old school, you do laps around the oval for school, and everyone chips in $1 for every lap you do. If we found a charity to match that with, and then hopefully bring some more audience to the sport that aren't already involved, and raise some money for a good cause and have some fun in the process. That's something we're toying with at the moment.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting too. Scott, I'm going to give you a chance to say anything. You got anything you want to wrap up with?
No, I'm good. I think everything's been said. Brad wants to say something. He could have my spot.
Yeah, I do. I just want to get a couple of things across. Those of you who are coming and looking to camp, we've actually got the option to come in and camp the Friday night as well. I don't know if we've got this messaging out there enough. Friday night and the Sunday night, you can stay there too. So when we have the awards at the pub next door, there's no expectation to get in your car and leave. On the Saturday night, there's we won't be add your own devices, but there is an option. The pub will have a roast spit and a band on. I think that's $30 entry. That's all theirs separate, but it is just next door, so it's super convenient. Cool. Aside from that, we'll just have a canteen and coffees in the morning, and
awesome.
What was that?
That was the world telling us that we're over, we're done. Exactly. From my 2 cents, I'm just going to say thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for joining in. It's been awesome to talk to you all, and thanks for letting me host this. If you're thinking about it, don't hesitate. Sandy Creek Raceway, Queensland, August 31st to September 1. Get involved in our race scene in Australia, ERL Electric Racing League. Get behind them, support them, and let's hope this is a great event for everybody, and it continues to grow around Australia, and more people like Dylan and Liam are going to travel across Australia for this, and that's the sort of commitment people in this sport have. These guys were with me and Scott in Vegas, and Taz as well, and Jeff and a few others. So I want everybody to show up, get involved if you can get there. I know Father's Day is in the that day, but hey, make sure tell your kids you want to go to this for the day, and let them take you. There's a pub next door. You probably have lunch there as well. Who knows during the day? So they probably do all sorts of cool food and stuff as well. So
get down there. Get down there, help us grow the sport. It's going to be a great time. You can try out a Mach 1. It's going to be fun. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Even just to watch.
I need some cheerleaders.
Exactly.
No, definitely get in there and support as much as you can. Those of you who are in other states and are thinking about it, just if you can, go. If you can't, we all understand, because we've got one of the biggest countries in the world as far as size, so it is challenging. But hopefully we can get one in Victoria. Hopefully we can get one in Sydney. Even one day, maybe even the Northern Territory. Who knows? It would be cool. And I know there's a group of skaters in Alice Springs as well. So how cool would that be? A dirt track race.
They've got that really nice smooth loop road around all the resorts around Ayers Rock. Maybe close that for a few days.
Yeah. Sure, that'd be fun. All right, all.
Ideally, we get this everywhere. Like that's the aim, is to bring. This is the first one in Queensland, but we'd like to do it a couple a year at least around the country. And hopefully, when we go to Queensland and the local, there's 25 Queenslanders at this one. Hopefully, when we go to another state, then they'll get a taste for it and they'll want to travel. And as we do that, it'll just grow. So yeah,
absolutely.
I'll shut up now.
It'd be like the Aussie version of Red Rock. Dave, absolutely, mate, it would be. It would be. On that note, thanks everybody for joining in. Remember, stay upright, keep smiling. We're out.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.